This is called The Rant That Made Jordan Peterson Famous, and it's not because I've never even seen this before. But, good clickbait title. Well, not that great because not too many people have watched it, but there's a lot of competition for that Jordan Peterson dollar, so.
How do you overcome the suffering of life? Is be a better person. That's how you do it. Well, that's hard. It takes responsibility. And I think, if you said to someone, you want to have a meaningful life? Everything you do matters. That's the definition of a meaningful life. But everything you do matters. You're going to have to carry that with you. Or do you want to just forget about the whole meaning thing, and then you don't have any responsibility because who the hell cares, and you can wander through life doing whatever you want, gratifying impulsive desires for how useful that's going to be, and you're stuck in meaninglessness, but you don't have any responsibility. Which one do you want?
The second one.
Well, ask yourself, which one are you pursuing? And you'll find very rapidly that it isn't the majority of your soul that's pursuing the whole meaning thing, because, well, look what you have to do that. You have to take on the fact that life is suffering. You have to put yourself together in the face of that.
I mean, first you have to delude yourself. You have to literally lie to yourself and say, life has some sort of objective, verifiable meaning outside of my own perception of it having meaning. Like, you have to believe that value exists outside of human value judgments or the value judgments of whatever living things are capable of making value judgments. You have to say that outside of any of us, this has some sort of meaning, and in order to do that, there's only a few ways you can. And of course, one of the major ways that people choose is to say, well, it was all designed by this architect who laid out the rules of reality and made sure to sprinkle in a liberal dose of meaning somewhere. We can't figure out where it is, how it comes to be, how it works, what it even does, but it's there and we feel good about that for some reason. So you have to start with that weird series of delusions before you can even begin to imagine the whole meaning thing.
That. Well, that's hard. Christ, it's amazing people can even do it. I'm stunned every day when I go outside, and it isn't a riot with everything burning. Because really, God, you talk to people, it's like, I knew this guy, he'd been in a motorcycle accident, and it really ruined him, and he was like a linesman, working on the power, and he was working with someone who had Parkinson's disease, and they had complementary inadequacies. And so two of them could do the job of one person, and so they're out there fixing power lines in the freezing cold, despite the fact that one was 3/4 wrecked with a motorcycle accident and the other one had Parkinson's. It's like, that's how our civilization works. It's like, there's all these ruined people out there, they've got problems like you can't believe. Off they go to work and do things they don't even like, and look, the lights are on. My God, it's unbelievable. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And we're so ungrateful. College students, the postmodern types.
It's nice. It's not a miracle. There's nothing miraculous about it. It's not a miracle that, hey, you're fucked up from a motorcycle accident and you got Parkinson's, but together you can do the job of one person. So here you go. You're like the world's lamest superhero duo out there putting power lines up so that you can get enough money to live your miserable existences with terrible, debilitating shit going on in your lives. You long-suffering, miserable fucks get to go out and do some grueling fucking task that could easily be done by one able-bodied person. And in return for that, we'll give you enough money to supplement your miserable existences a little longer. And in the process, you will help keep the lights on. That, to me, does not seem like a miracle. A miracle would be if those guys, through no human intervention, if that guy in the motorcycle accident just boom was healed, and the Parkinson's guy boom was healed, and they wanted for nothing, and they just had endless resources at their disposal, and everything in their lives magically became great overnight, that would be a fucking miracle. What you're describing is just, a little bit of capitalism. Not a miracle. Just a human contrivance.
So ungrateful. You know, they don't know that they're surrounded by just a bloody miracle. It's a miracle that all this stuff works, that all you crazy chimpanzees that don't know each other can sit in the same room for 2 hours sweltering away without tearing each other apart, because that's what chimps do. So,
I mean, not always. The chimps in the same tribe are not tearing each other apart. They're usually tearing apart chimps from other tribes, which we still do as human beings, by the way. What do you think war is? In fact, we do it on a much more grand scale. Now, instead of tearing the other chimps apart, we blow them to fucking smithereens. You know, we paint the walls with their fucking blood. So I don't know that, you know, just because the tribes have gotten a little bigger, don't confuse that with humanity is now civilized. We're not. We're still assholes. We're still apes. Every event in human history is done by apes. And if you look at history through that lens, history makes a fuck of a lot more sense.
anyways, so what happened? Well, I made some videos, and I got to the bottom of some things, at least as far as I can tell, so I told you what the bottom is, and then I got this idea about what you might do about it, which isn't my idea. It's not my idea. It's an old idea. It's far older than Christianity. It's old. It's the oldest story of mankind. Get yourself together. Transcend your suffering. See if you can be some kind of hero. Make the suffering in the world less. Well, that's the way forward, as far as I can tell, if there is any way forward. And that's...
How come you haven't made my suffering less, Jordan Peterson? If anything, you've made it more with your grating, irritating bullshit and your fucking sophistry. How about you follow your own advice, make my life better, and shut the fuck up? That'd be my suggestion. But, you know, you're free to do what you want. Have fun. Hey, if you enjoy the content on this channel, you might also enjoy the content on the Deep Fat Fried channel with me, Scotty, and Paul. And if you want to support this channel or any of our channels, you can do so using the Patreon and the PayPal down below. Thank you kindly for watching.